Yo, welcome back to another episode of Mailbag Monday by the Money Matters podcast. I am your host, Jack. And as we get going today, for those that don't know, this is a podcast I created and I'm self-funding it on my own. There are no paid sponsors. I'm not going to sell you electrolytes. I'm not going to sell you a protein bar. I'm not going to sell you a gym membership. The point of this podcast is that I myself, I'm the CEO of a big Bitcoin company called Strike. We get to contribute to the conversation. I brought my best friends on here, my father on here, other industry leaders on here, contribute to the conversation in a way that's authentic, that's pure, that's real. We seek out real Bitcoin-based conversation on this podcast. Mailbag Monday is a show I run by myself in my empty closet every single Monday, 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, where I get on, joined by you guys, the internet, and we just talk shit and we hang out. We talk about Bitcoin. So with that being said, I hope everyone is doing well. I missed you guys. I was at the Super Bowl last week. I didn't have any internet. The whole city was like kind of dysfunctional after the Super Bowl. And so we kind of missed a week. I apologize for that. Hey, a better world starts with accountability. When you're wrong, put your hand up. I screwed up. I didn't have internet. But we're past that. We're beyond that. We're about bigger and better. We're about bigger and better. And so with that, I'm back. Here we go. I'm dialing in to the World Wide Web on February 17th, 2025. It is 5:16 p.m. Central Time, and Bitcoin is trading at $96,020 as I speak. That's a little over 1,000 sats per dollar and a little under $2 trillion market cap. Okay, let's get into my market thoughts. For any frequent listener, are you surprised? Do you have any idea what I'm about to say? Because unfortunately, I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying since Thanksgiving. What have I been saying, chat? I'll give you a second. What have I been saying? Is anyone here from the last few months? No, maybe not. All right. Well, in any event, this is what I've been saying. I expect Bitcoin to chop around 100K. I expect there to be a lot of volatility in the short term, a lot of bullishness in the long term. New administration, a lot of uncertainty as far as monetary policy, as far as the Treasury Department. How's Scott Bessent going to differ than Janet Yellen? What's his angle? What's his plan? We know Trump is inflationary, reshoring a lot of industries in the United States of America, being competitive in the export industry, caring about the stock market. All of this is inflationary. All of this is weaker dollar. However, from him getting elected to that starting, I expect a lot of volatility, a lot of emotion, a lot of uncertainty. I mean, look at what Doge is uncovering. So my prediction in the markets has remained the same. A lot of volatility, a lot of choppiness around 100K. Why? Markets like psychological round numbers. At the end of the day, markets are comprised of humans, okay? Humans like round numbers. It's easy. 100K is a big psychological number. It's adding a new digit to the Bitcoin price. It's entering the six-figure land for Bitcoin. That's a really, really big deal. I've been in Bitcoin for 12 years. I remember when Bitcoin finally broke $100 and then $1,000 and then $10,000. $100,000 is a really big deal. I do not think it's going to be a short pit stop. I expect it to be as long as it's been. In the meantime, I expect a lot of volatility. Oh my God, Trump's going to have tariffs. Oh my God, no, he's not. Oh my God, our gold is missing. Oh my God, no, it's not. Oh my God, Jerome Powell's going to get fired. Oh my God, no, he's not. A lot of chop, a lot of up, a lot of down, a lot of up, a lot of down. Everything has happened since Trump got elected, and at the same time, nothing has happened since Trump got elected. You could have taken a nap since Trump got elected, and Bitcoin's still in the same range. Nothing's changed. Blocks every 10 minutes, Bitcoin price relatively the same. Michael Saylor still buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin ETF still accepting flows. Interest rates relatively the same. Not a ton has changed. Now, not on the rest of the world. Obviously, We have the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico. I'm speaking strictly financial markets, strictly Bitcoin. I've always said markets will either wear you out or scare you out, okay? Wear you out, meaning what it's doing now. Exhaust you. Tempt you with meme coins, with Trump coin. Make you go up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down. You're like, man, I thought this Jack guy said we were going to the moon. I thought Bitcoin was going to fix the money, fix the world. I thought holding sats and staying humble was going to solve all my problems. And it's going to exhaust you. It's going to wear you out and wear you down. Or it's going to scare you out. Sometimes this market will just take the seat right from under you. You ever been on those like roller coaster? They're not a roller coaster though, like the giant drop rides where they bring you up and then just whoosh and they just drop you down. You feel that gut wrenching fear in your stomach. That's what markets will do as well. Where Bitcoin will trade 25% down in one day and it'll scare you out. You'll be like, oh, screw it, I'm out of this market. I don't trust these Bitcoin influencers. I don't trust the Bitcoin standard, Safe and Nina Moose. And so wear you out or scare you out. And that's where we are. We're being worn out right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this market tried to scare you out as well. Is a drop to 80K impossible? No, not at all. I preach patience. I preach conviction. I'm an advocate of the trend. I'm an advocate of the fundamentals. I'm an advocate of math, of cryptography. Trading this market, no bueno. You will get scared out. You will get worn out. And I'm telling you, I've been telling you since Thanksgiving, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the near term. This market's not going to run away yet. It's also not going to zero. We know that. It's going to chop and chop and chop and chop and chop. So another week goes by. I've got relatively the same update. Stay focused. Work hard, earn more than you spend, stack sats, stay humble. I fully expect Bitcoin to have a $250,000 price or higher within this calendar year. I do not think the market is ready to run yet. In fact, we saw some market data. It looks like the economy is weakening. It looks like the reverse repo market is draining. Again, the markets are asking, where's the liquidity going to come from? How are they going to weaken the dollar? Are Jerome Powell and Donald Trump going to get on the same page? And there's seemingly a very weak economy progressing. Are we going to have a mini financial crisis? Is that what's going to take Trump to get Powell on his side? Is the stock market going to fall 10%? These are the questions the market has, and this is why the market's been relatively still. Bitcoin is the best tracker of global liquidity. It is. Global liquidity. So we'll see. We will see. We will see. That's my market assessment. For those of you that have been listening for months, I apologize because it's a lot of the same. For those of you that are new, it's a stay humble, stack sats. This market will wear you out and scare you out. Expect a lot of volatility in the near term. In the long term, expect bullishness. Fair enough? Okay, I see a lot of questions coming through the chat. As a reminder, I've got some teammates of mine in the chat. They're writing down your questions in a document I have here to my left as you guys are typing. So I'm not going to answer your questions in real time because then we'd hardly have a show. I'd barely be able to get a point across. What I will do is once we approach the end of the show, I always do Q&A where I take the list of questions that's been compiled over the hour or so, and I try and get through as many as I can. And obviously, I won't answer any foul, nasty questions, but the ones that do make sense, I'm happy to answer. So ask whatever you want. No questions are really off limits, and I will answer them at the end of the show. Cool? Great. Okay. My one topic top of mind is meme coins. You've got the president of Argentina, Dave Portnoy, rug pulling, losing tons of money. It is outrageous. Just some of my thoughts on this. Listen, meme coins have product market fit. They're popular. Why? Because they're frictionless gambling. They're reducing the friction to gamble, to speculate. In fact, a lot of the reason I think shitcoins, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, A lot of the reason these coins are getting crushed is because all this liquidity of gambling, of speculating, is going into meme coins. You know, in order to gamble and speculate, you used to have to read a 50-page white paper and listen to Vitalik treat you like a fucking idiot by spewing all sorts of developer googly gawk on your head. You don't have to do that anymore. Are you going to read a 50-page white paper written by some weird-looking teenager that no one knows? Or are you going to buy Trump coin? Meme coins are simple. Do I know this person? Do I think more people will know this person? That's it. It is frictionless gambling. Let's be clear. There is no value accrual to any of these things, Ethereum or Trump coin. They're both meme coins. They're both shit coins. One made it really complicated, really complex. It was a Rube Goldberg machine. The other is intellectually honest and saying, this thing's probably going to zero. Do you want to gamble? All of this is extremely bullish for Bitcoin because the world is starting to see that there is Bitcoin and then there is everything else. There is a value accrual thesis to Bitcoin. It is distributed. Its monetary policy is fixed. Its supply is fixed. Its issuance is predictable. It's divisible. It's portable. You can secure it yourself in a self-sovereign way. It's global. There's a real value accrual thesis to Bitcoin. There is a mathematical and borderline physics, if you ask Michael Saylor, reason that Bitcoin's price keeps going up. All of these other things, there is not. They all trend to zero against Bitcoin. They are not money. And if you want the God honest truth, they are speculative gambling vehicles. And the reason meme coins are doing better than Ethereum is because they're being honest about that and they're optimizing for that. You guys want to gamble? You want to punt a load of shit? I'll make it easy for you to create it and I'll make it easy for you to trade it. Whoops, there goes all the demand for Ethereum. Oh, it's just a coincidence. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. The Ethereum ETF launched. Why aren't institutions buying Ethereum? The same reason institutions aren't buying Trump coin. You understand? Listen, we live in a society where everyone is a speculator, whether you know it or not. The money that you are forced to use with the threat of violence by your government, meaning the dollar, the euro, the pound, that money is losing value actively every single day. So it's not enough to just be a doctor. It's not enough to just be a teacher. It's not enough just to be a musician. You have to be a doctor and a speculator. You have to teach children and understand Japanese central bank monetary policy. You have to create art and music and actively manage a stock portfolio. If you want to outpace inflation, outpace the death of the currency that you're forced to use, you cannot just contribute to this world. You have to contribute to this world and speculate. So when we see such product market fit in demand for gambling and speculation, that is not by chance. That is not human nature. That is the outcome of awful monetary policy from fiat currencies and central banks. So what you're seeing is a global population that is desperate to speculate because their contributions to the world, no matter how good they are, aren't good enough. Period. And so it's which way, Western man? Do you want to contribute to this world and buy Bitcoin? Do you want to contribute to this world and gamble on Trump coin? And the answer, there is a right answer. And the answer is becoming abundantly clear to the whole world as all of this stuff unravels. That is, be ethical, be principled, be honest, be hardworking, and buy Bitcoin. That's the way to build a future that's worth living in. All this other junk is junk. Facts. Facts. You guys know how hard it used to be to enable people to gamble? You'd have to, Guys, I've been in this space for 12 years. I swear to God, you'd have to write a 100-page white paper to convince someone to gamble on your token. Trust me, I was there. Now you go on your phone and you boop, 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 boop. Solana, Dave Portnoy coin. Frictionless gambling. We live in a society where the demand to speculate is there whether you know it or not. Your fifth grade teacher in your local community, whether they know it or not, they're a speculator. Are they getting paid in dollars? They're a speculator. There's innate demand to hopefully own a home, to hopefully be able to afford groceries, to 1 year afford vacation. That demand comes from not human nature, not how they were raised, not who they're following on Instagram. It comes from an eroding currency that's stealing from their time and energy. So what are meme coins? They're monetizing this rampant demand to speculate. Oh, all humanity wants is to speculate? Oh, okay. Who gives a shit? Fuck your white paper. Fuck your developer speak. Fuck your smart contracts. What am I wasting? I don't need to understand the internet of money or fucking the oil of the internet. What are they calling Ethereum? No, just go open my phone and buy whatever Malay is selling. That's why Ethereum's crashing and Trump coin is pumping. Obvious. It's unethical. It's stupid. By the way, for everyone that says, Bitcoiners shouldn't hate the free market, why are Bitcoiners against meme coins? Free markets, let anyone do anything. Supporting free markets and open markets does not force me to compromise on my principles, my ethics, and my morals. If I see theft and fraud in broad daylight, I will call it out 100 out of 100 times. Do not buy these meme coins. There is no value accrual method to them. They all go to zero, especially against Bitcoin. This is fraud. These people are stealing from you. There's insider trading. There's biased allocations. There's market manipulation. Just buy Bitcoin. It's the craziest thing too, because I saw there's some LA influencer I saw on Twitter. LA, like the type of guy that was buying all the NFTs 4 years ago. You remember that? I went on this rant about how all these things are so full of shit. I didn't even say NFTs once. These things are so garbage, but the world is finally realizing it. 4 years ago to this day, I would have to be sitting here and trying to argue with someone that a picture of a monkey doesn't have any value. That happened. I would be sitting on national television arguing with an anchor that a JPEG of a monkey doesn't have any real value. That happened. That was real life. Okay? Now, these same people, I just saw them post on the internet. I just saw a tweet that said, my advice to everyone, buy Bitcoin and shut the fuck up. That was the direct quote. So we've gone from these people. Justin Bieber, God bless his heart, he surely had no idea, was telling kids all over the world to buy pictures of monkeys. Outrageous. The world is healing. Okay? I've said before, altcoins are what I call an arbitrage on the trend. All right? What do I mean by that? An arbitrage trade is very simple. If I have something on my left that I can sell for $10, and I have the same thing on my right that I could buy for $1, I'm buying for $1 all day, and I'm selling for $10 all day. That's what's called an arbitrage trade. You're arbitraging the inefficiency in the market. Okay? I think altcoins are an arbitrage on this trend. They're monetizing, they're making money, they're taking advantage of a market inefficiency. What's the inefficiency? One's an informational inefficiency. People don't truly understand Bitcoin. People don't truly understand money. People don't understand markets. The other is regulatory. Previously in the US, it was illegal to create your own money in your basement and pay Justin Bieber to make it popular. That was a violation of securities law. Now, obviously, you've had Gensler, different SEC, different rules. No one knows how to regulate this stuff. And so you're able to do something that was previously illegal, and you're able to sell it to a group of individuals that just don't fully understand what's going on. And that's the arbitrage. Is if I had, bananas on the left side of town I could sell for $10 and bananas on the right side of town that I could buy for $1, I would drive my car to the right side of town, buy as many as I can for $1, drive to the other side of town, sell them all for 10. That's an arbitrage trade. Now, what's the equivalent in today's world? Well, if I could just create meme coins all day, cost me nothing, and sell them to a bunch of people that don't know any better on the internet, I'm arbitraging. Now, what happens when I'm buying bananas for $1 and selling them for 10 all day? Well, eventually the demand for bananas at $10, I'm selling so much, I move the price lower to 9, to 8, to 7, and I'm buying so much at $1 that I'm pushing the price up to 2, to 3. Eventually, bananas on each side of town are worth $5. And that's the market growing to be efficient and fixing its inefficiencies. Now, what's the equivalent to today? It was much easier to sell snake oil dog shit coins 10 years ago than it is now. Ethereum's getting crushed. Creating a new altcoin like Ethereum and having everyone read your white paper and believe in your smart contract gobbledygook is probably at this point nearly impossible. So the market's getting more efficient. It's getting harder to scam people. At this point, it's just honest, straightforward gambling. Dave Portnoy is like the most coveted public sports gambler in the United States of America when it comes to social media influence. And there's not a lot of sports on right now. I guarantee you, if we were in like NFL playoffs, Dave Portnoy would not be buying meme coins. Soon as the Super Bowl ends, this guy's the biggest shitcoiner I've ever seen. Not a coincidence. It's honestly just gambling. I think we're growing towards the era where the world truly understands there's Bitcoin, which is money, and then there's gambling. And if you're interested in gambling, it's like a disease, call the gambling hotline. It's funny. I just have never was a gambler. I don't gamble on sports. At this point, I host a weekly podcast. You guys would be able to tell, if I'm lying, I would hope. I don't gamble on sports. I can never get my head around people that think that's a way to a good life. I was always raised on work hard, be honorable, be principled, respect others, care for others. That's the way to a good life. Right? I don't understand a society that thinks buying meme coins or gambling on the Super Bowl is how you become the partner and the friend and the colleague and the parent that you're destined to become. But I think we're living in a sick population. I give a talk at an event in June, and the title I decided, so I don't want to give it away too much, but I have this thesis that I think Bitcoin and AI are going to bring about a new art renaissance for humanity. And I think we'll have the luxury of living through that. My thesis is very simple. It's that today you can't, like I said, just be a doctor or just be a janitor or just be a policeman. You have to be a doctor and a trader. You have to be a policeman and a speculator. You have to be a lawyer and understand what the Fed is talking about. That makes everyone half as good as they could be at being a doctor, at being a lawyer, at being an artist, at being a teacher. Because the other half of their time is spent outpacing inflation. And you live in a world where we've monetized debt. Debt's a good thing. I paid for this house in cash. And everyone was like, what? How could you possibly not take out a mortgage? How could I possibly? I don't want to owe anybody money. I don't want to be in debt. But that's the world we live in. Debt is fully monetized. Fully monetized. So you have a world where no one is a full-on contributor to society. You contribute as much as you can whilst spending the rest of your time trying to outpace inflation, riddled in debt. And so my thesis is that Bitcoin and AI is going to usher in a new art renaissance is if you can fix the money, then you enable people to just be a doctor, be passionate about helping people. You enable people to just be a lawyer, to just be an accountant, to just be an artist, be a teacher. I have a friend that was a teacher here in Chicago. She's no longer a teacher. She couldn't afford it. It wasn't economically viable to teach children. She couldn't live. What type of society is that when we can't make it economically feasible to educate the future? Now, on top of that, the pattern I've seen in my life, so I'm 30. So I've watched all my friends go to college, rack up a ton of debt, and then they spend their life trying to get out of it. You go to university, you're in 6 figures of debt. Eventually, you get a good enough credit score and a high enough paycheck where you can put a down payment on and get a mortgage, but then you're in more debt. Oh, you need to commute because work is far or you live in a cold climate, more debt. Oh, someone gave you a credit card, more debt. Debt, 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 debt. And instead of pursuing art, instead of pursuing passion, these people are all accountants. They're all professions that aren't interesting, that aren't artistic, that aren't expressive, they aren't passionate about. Do you know how many people in my life hate their job? Hate their job. The fact that that's been normalized is outrageous. The prime vehicle in which you express yourself to the world, you hate? I mean, from first principles, what are you doing? But they've piled up a bunch of debt and they spend their life trying to climb out of it. And then the weekend is for fun. Vacation is for fun. Work isn't for fun. That's the society we live in. But I tell you this, what if Bitcoin fixes the money to where you could do what you want and the money won't bleed? You won't also have to outpace inflation. As long as you're good at what you do and you're contributing value to others, you can live a life worth living. And then if AI, I'll tell you what, you know who I'm excited to do my taxes soon? AI. Why are human beings spending time doing others' taxes? Sorry, no offense. And I'm not speaking about that, like I'm not picking on other people's professions. I'm just saying, like, as a species, don't we want to be pursuing art, exploring curiosities, exploring passions? So if AI can automate a lot of the mundane human tasks and Bitcoin can fix the money, I truly believe we will see an art renaissance. That's my thesis. I give a talk about it in June, so I don't want to go too much into it, but I'm fairly confident that's what's going to happen. Fix the money, fix the world. And then, AI should empower people to be artists. I'd much rather a computer do the boring stuff for me so that I can create my business. I think that's an artistic pursuit. So I'm creating something new. I'm an inventor, trying to solve problems, push boundaries, change the way people think and relate to each other. That's a lot of what my job is. And that's not the job of an AI. The job of an AI is to help me automate a lot of the mundane tasks that are required to operationally execute on them. That's not the interesting part. I don't know. I don't know if I offended people that don't like their job. I mean, there's nothing wrong with providing value and getting paid for it. And if you're living your life in a surplus where you're spending less than you're making and you're providing true value to the world, that's great. And if you can stack sats with the difference, that's great. I wish that everyone was filled with more ambition than to spend their life doing something they don't love. I wish we lived in a society where, like, I had a buddy that studied history in university and wanted to be a historian. Just no way. There's just no way. You can't be a historian. You can't be a musician. You can't be a teacher. You're an accountant. You're an engineer. You're a lawyer. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments. Dude, I work for the Canadian version of the IRS. Soul crushing. I know. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be too hard on you guys. Like, life's hard. Period. There's no explanation needed. We can all relate on that. And so you do what you can. But I'm really hopeful that Bitcoin and AI can usher in an art renaissance where it's empowering to our species to create and express. I think the world is better the more artists there are in it. And I haven't backed this up with data. This will all be part of my talk, but I would guess that, the level of quality art is trending down and the number of lawyers is trending up, if I had to guess. Someone said, do I trust AI? I don't understand what that means. AI is an industry. I think AI should be open source. I don't trust open AI, but I don't know. I don't totally understand. It's like, do you trust money? Depends which money. Bitcoin? Yeah. The dollar? No. Okay, that's my rant on meme coins and everyone in the world is a speculator and this is all bullish for Bitcoin. Everyone saw, so you've got these, what is it called? 13F, these filings, and you're seeing, state pensions, sovereign wealth funds, banks buying the ETFs and buying MicroStrategy. Guys, these are capital allocators that are, one, not buying Trump coin, not buying Ethereum. Two, these are long-term capital allocations. This is not what is called hot money. This is not capital that's speculating, trying to pick local highs and buy local lows. This is permanent capital. These are people building and accruing massive positions and aren't going to move for a really long time. So the trend to me is very obvious. You're watching, I have to be careful. I was going to say lesser humans. I'm not that judgmental and I don't actually mean that, but the people that can't help themselves and are buying meme coins, they're getting chopped up. They're losing a lot of money. Luckily for Dave Portnoy, he's able to monetize all the attention he's getting, but he's probably losing a good amount of money. And the people that have the patience, the low time preference, the ethics, the principles, they're buying Bitcoin. So the trend is glaringly obvious. I'll say it again. I expect short-term volatility. Short-term volatility. Are we going to have a recession? Is Powell going to cut rates? Is he going to let the stock market dip? What's Besson and Trump's plan to weaken the dollar? Are tariffs actually going to happen? All these things, we have to get clarity from the market, or else we're going to continue to chop around. I expect short-term volatility. I think the trend is abundantly clear for Bitcoin. This thing's going way higher, and it doesn't even have the joke of a competition. Next time I'm on CNBC, I'd be shocked if someone asked me why I don't own Ethereum at this point. Or like, people used to ask me about Litecoin. No one ever brings that up to me anymore. So anyway, that's my rant. And with that, I will check in with Dylan, make sure my mic is working and stuff. You never know with me. Hey, we're not a professional podcaster yet. And and we can maybe move to some trivia and some questions, some Q&A. Talk to me, chat. How are you guys feeling? Any of that make sense? Did I offend anyone? Is anyone out there an accountant? By the way, some of the people I love most dear to my heart, I have some extended family that are all in accounting. They're very smart people, not taking shots at any specific. I'm just saying, I think AI is going to help a lot of these industries, and I would love my children to be afforded the encouragement and the support through monetary policy and through technology to pursue art and their passions. It would crush my soul if my child took out debt to learn, took out debt to live, took out debt to transport him or herself, and then worked at like the IRS to climb out of that. And maybe that's just the difference between me and some of the people in the chat. I just wouldn't be able to do it. I want too much out of this world. I want too much out of life. Not me. Not me. I want to be the living example that it's possible. Not me. I want to show my generation it's possible. You could work hard. You could eat steak and eggs. You could lift weights. You could run far. You could stack sats. You could do it. All right. Talk to me, chat. What's going on? On a wooden cutting board. I had my steak and eggs today on a wooden cutting board. RFK. Jack, I drank 2 margaritas. I'm ready for trivia. Attaboy. Wow. All right. Say less, King. All right. Trivia, keep asking the questions. My team is writing them all down. I'll get to them. I say this. I say we do trivia for maybe the next 10, 15 minutes, see how it goes. And then after that, we'll do some Q&A. We'll wrap it up. I love it. You guys love the trivia. It's fun. Jack drinking Jack? I'm not drinking. I'm drinking an espresso. Caffeine. I'm a little worn down. For those of you that follow me on Nasser, I posted ever since I knocked something over. Ever since I got back to America, I felt like noticeably worse. Noticeably worse. I don't know if it's the food, if it's the air, the lack of sun I'm getting here in Chicago. I mean, it is dark. It is cold. Everyone is inside on their phones. I mean, I started supplementing vitamin D. Like, I must be deficient in stuff. I mean, it is like, I got back to America. I went to the grocery store today. They didn't have eggs. What? The US of A? I can't buy eggs? Don't get me started. I've already done enough ranting for today's episode. So, am I sick? Maybe. I don't know. There's rumors there's like a rampant flu going around. I don't know. I'm eating steak. I'm eating eggs. I'm drinking water. I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to stack some fucking sats. Keep it simple. How hard should we? I did find eggs. On my 3rd grocery store, I found eggs. But yeah, I was I was in Central America for a while. I was in some islands for a while. I went to the Super Bowl. Warm climate. Food was good, organic, fresh. Spent a lot of time walking around. It is insane how unhealthy America is. I'm really thankful that this is now top of mind for what seems like the majority of the population, and we're going to try and fix this. But yikes. Actually, you guys are inspiring me in the chat. You'll laugh at me, but let me go put on a recent purchase of mine on the theme of all this health stuff. 1 second. You like these red light glasses? You like these? Blocking the blue light. I try and wear them when the sun goes down. I don't know. RFK's got work to do, I'll tell you that. Cheering him on, though. Cheering him on. Okay. Trivia? Let's do it. All right. Here's the deal. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to turn the chat on so you guys can see it. Can you guys now see the chat next to me? Give me confirmation. So if you can, that's step 1. I'm going to ask questions, and then the first answer that I see, and I will confirm, is the winner. You collect your winnings by DMing Dylan on Twitter your Lightning address or your Strike username. Dylan's Twitter handle, his X handle, is Dylan ... which I will share my screen and show you now. So the rules are very simple. I ask questions. The first to answer in the chat wins. That person is awarded a prize. That prize is gifted to them by Dylan in the live, in Twitter DMs, in Twitter DMs. You go, you click this message icon, and you say, hey, Dylan, I just won. Here's my Strike username, or here's my Lightning address. Fair enough? Let me know that things sound good, chat, and we will start asking some questions. Okay. I look hilarious. Question number 1. How many sats do we usually do for these? Forget. If you don't have a Twitter, you could DM Dylan on Nostr as well. Is that okay, Dill? All right. Let's do, what's sats to USD? How many sats do we usually do? $5 worth? Okay. $5 worth is what? 5,000 sats? We'll do 10,000 sats, $10 worth, since we're below 100K. I'm feeling generous. All right. For 10,000 sats, it's a little over $10 of Bitcoin. Question 1. What is Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday? What is Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday? What? Why are you guys guessing? No. Oh. Oh, someone got it, but accidentally inputted it wrong. I need the date and the year. I see Yi Chan Kim. Yi Chan Kim. I'm gonna review the tape. But as of now, Yi Chan Kim, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the winner. I need a date and year. Rex Monty, you were going to get it. It looks like you put April 54th, 1975 instead of April 5th, 1975. Listen, brother, I'm sorry. My heart bleeds for the fact that I can't give you sats for that, but that's technically the incorrect answer. Unknown, incorrect. October 31st, incorrect. That was the date of another thing when he published the white paper. It is April 5th, 1975. Oh, hold on. Did Rex Monty get it before? He sure did. Oh, fuck. How do I share my screen and show you guys? This is why we review the tape. We got to somehow make this game like more efficient because just doing one question. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot. Okay. Look at this, guys. Look at this production. How do I? No. Oh, okay. I can do it like this. Oh, shit. Can you guys see this? So these are the answers. Rex Monty right here. April 5th, 1975. He beat Yi Chan Kim. So Dylan, Rex Monty is the winner. It is April 5th, 1975. Now, I always do this trivia with a little bit of education so that you guys can learn as well. What is the relevance of April 5th, 1975? April 5th is the date of the Executive Order 6102, signed by Franklin D. Roosevelt. So this is the order that banned the private ownership of gold, forcing citizens to sell their gold at a fixed price set by the government. Why 1975? In 1975, the government lifted restrictions on owning gold, allowing private citizens to hold it again. So pretty clever on Satoshi's part. I clearly think that was purposeful. So April 5th, the executive order, 1975 is when the government lifted the restrictions on owning gold. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay. Winner, chicken dinner. Make sure that you DM Dylan. Okay. Now we need $10K. Oh shit, the chat's not updated. My birthday? Hell no. Okay. Here's a random one for 10,000 sats. There were 7 initial founders of Blockstream. Give me 4 of 7 and you get the correct answer. 4 of 7 founders of Blockstream. Adam Back is one, but I need someone like the correct Adam Back, Austin Hill, Gregory Maxwell, Peter Willa. Yep. Was Austin Hill a founder though? I don't think so. All right, we're reviewing the tape. Sam Bankman-Fried. Adam Back, Peter Willa, Mark Friedenbach, and Matt Corallo is correct. Who got that first? Yi-Chan Kim. Man, this guy's everywhere. Dylan, Yi-Chan Kim. So all the founders, Adam, Gregory Maxwell, Peter Willa, Matt Corallo, Mark Friedenbach, Jonathan Wilkins, and Jorge Timon. I think we're the founders. Yi-Chan had Adam Back, Gregory Maxwell, Peter Willa, and Matt Corallo. Blockstream, what was fascinating, Jack Miller, Saquon Barkley, Jesus, and Michael Saylor. I'd invest in that company. Pretty cool. Blockstream was, at the time, a ton of the most prominent Bitcoin developers. They went and founded a business that was, really more or less at the time was intended to support Bitcoin development. There was no development support for Bitcoin in a corporate way that was attracting venture capital and able to deploy it into building out Bitcoin. And so it was side chains at the time, but it was a hell of a co-founding team, some heavyweight names. A lot of those folks, some aren't active in Bitcoin anymore. Some contribute to Bitcoin in other ways. Adam is still the CEO, obviously. But a little bit of Bitcoin history there, a little bit of Bitcoin history. All right. Let's see. Did Dylan get that one? Yes, he did. All right. Make sure you DM Dylan. Make sure you DM Dylan. I kind of want to do one for more than 10,000. I want to come up with a really clever one. Okay. All right. This is fun. This is my type of tea. All right. Let's do... How much more? Okay, we've done 2 questions so far. Let's do 5 total. I'm going to up it now to 25,000 sats. So now this is a little over $25 of Bitcoin. We'll do 2 10,000, 2 25,000, 1 50,000. Let's go. All right, 25,000 sats. The Bitcoin halving code. The code for the Bitcoin halving is located in what file inside of the Bitcoin Core source code? You have to give me the full file path. Full file path. Where is the Bitcoin halving code located inside of Bitcoin Core? SHA-256. That's not a file path. Give me the full file path. For 25,000 sats. Rex Monty. God, this guy's a beast, man. Rex Monty, winner, winner, chicken dinner. There's no way you're not using ChatGPT or something, dude. There's no way. This guy's a monster. Rex Monty, Dylan. I mean, hey, credit where credit's due. The guy's a beast. What do you want to do? It's located inside of source validation.cpp. Most of you guys got it. No, did Bird get it? I don't think so. Let's check the tape. I don't think so, chat. I'll show you my screenshots. I think it was Rex. A loyal listener of the show, by the way, Rex. We appreciate that. I recognize your name. All right, I'm sharing my screen. This is what we call transparency. Okay, let me zoom in here. Ooh. Can I not zoom in? Hold on. Nope. All right, well, can you guys see Rex down here? Sorry, this is a little... How do I blow this up? Well, whatever. Rex I have right here. So first two guesses were Laszlo and SHA-256, and then I have Rex right here. And then Bird got it. I mean, everyone got it, but I had Rex first. Rex first. Throw this screenshot in the chat. Can I blow it up now if I open it on preview? Ah ha ha ha. Okay, here we go, chat. Here we go. You guys can see this better. So I had first guess was Laszlo, SHA-256, then Rex, source validation.cpp, and then Bird. So I had Rex, and you can actually see by the second here, it looks like Rex beat Bird by 4 seconds. You see that? 48, 44. Pretty cool. All right. Rex, winner, chicken dinner. Congrats, buddy. 25,000 sats. Okay, chat, let me stop sharing. We got 2 more questions. This one, 25,000 sats. 25,000 sats. Okay, I got a good one. Let me get the chat updated on my screen. No, Rex, apply pressure. Don't let up. Apply pressure. Okay. For 25,000 sats, I'm going to try and make this one a little bit more difficult. Okay. Just trying to think how to ask it. This business, this was a gambling business sold in 2013. This is a Bitcoin gambling business sold in July of 2013. Who was its founder? What was the business called? And how much did it sell for? Very famous sale. I see someone got the business. Rex got the business. Founder, name of the business, and how much did it sell for? It was sold in July of 2013. Famous Bitcoin gambling business. It was Satoshi Dice. You guys got that part. But who was the founder and how much did it sell for? That's correct. It was Satoshi Dice. You guys all got that part. Who founded Satoshi Dice? And how much did Satoshi Dice sell for? I got it. Alezkar. Hold on, chat. I think we got a winner, chicken dinner. We're going to have to go to the tape and go to a vote because, okay, hold on. We're going to have to go to the tape. I'm going to have to share my screen. We're going to have to go to a vote with the chat because shit's getting complicated, chat. All right. The correct answer is Eric Voorhees was the founder of a business called Satoshi Dice. And in July of 2013, he sold Satoshi Dice for 126,315 Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was worth around $90. So the business was worth around $11.5 million. But Eric Voorhees founded Satoshi Dice, and he sold it in July 2013 for over 126,000 Bitcoins. Now, let's go to the tape. You guys tell me who won. This is a confusing one, okay? We're all going to pick the winner together. All right, I figured it out where I can zoom. Okay, so here's what happened. Everyone was guessing Satoshi Dice, as seen here, right? So everyone knew that that was what the business was called. I needed the founder, the business name, and how much it sold for. Now, Alskar, however you pronounce that, did give the correct amount of Bitcoin it sold for and the founder. However, he did not put Satoshi Dice. Now, maybe Satoshi Dice was implied because it was above in the chat, but he did not. Bird, shortly after, so Satoshi Dice, Bird gave us all three. Now, Bird was after, but did give all three. Did Alskar imply Satoshi Dice because it was above? Does Alskar count? Or is it Bird? Do you guys understand what I'm asking? Dylan, I need your opinion as well. Who's the true winner? What do you think, chat? What do you think? Wow, the chat thinks it's Bird. Okay. Okay. The people have spoken. Bird, winner, winner, chicken dinner. You can DM Dylan on Twitter, collect 25,000 sats. 25,000 sats. Dylan, do you agree with that? How do I? Oh, I've stopped. Dylan's typing. Hold on. I'm sorry, Alskar. I'm sorry. That's tough, man. That's a tough way to lose. But the people have spoken. I don't disagree. Dylan says the bird is the word. The bird is the word. Congrats, Bird. 25,000 sats. All right. 50,000 sats before trivia. 50,000 sats before trivia. This is over $50 worth of Bitcoin. Give me a second. I got to think of a hard one. Do you guys like the ones where it's about like, you know, people involved in the space, or do you want more Bitcoin specific, I wonder? All right. I'm just going to do the one I want just for education purposes. Okay. I think, okay. The reason I want to do this one is because I was ranting about like scammers earlier and shit coins and stuff. So that's your hint. This person, I think, is one of the greatest scammers of all time. People just don't know just how much they've scammed. This person was the founder of Mt. Gox, also the founder of Ripple, also the founder of Stellar Lumen. For 50,000 sats, who is this Mount Rushmore scammer? They founded Mt. Gox. No, I don't see it. Not Garlinghouse, not Vitalik, not Jed McCaleb. Boom, boom, boom. Was that Bird again? Jack Dorsey. No. Was that Bird? The Bird is the word? All right, let's go to the tape, chat. You guys know me. Let's go to the tape. Transparency, transparency, transparency. I think Bird is the word. Bird is the word. The last two coming out of nowhere. Rex was hot, and then all of a sudden the Bird became the word. All right, let's see. Wow, 50,000 sats. So that's 75,000 sats for the Bird is the word today, if he is in fact the winner. Okay, the correct answer is Jed McCaleb. People don't know, chat. Jed McCaleb founded Mt. Gox, supposedly knew there was a hole in its software, sold it to Mark Karpellis. Eventually, it it was insolvent, and that whole thing happened. He co-founded something called OpenCoin, which eventually became Ripple Labs, and he developed XRP. And then he left that and created Stellar Lumen Coin. So he's founded 3 things that just scammed people and lost everyone a lot of money. Interesting. Okay, let's see who won. Roger Ver, no. Vitalik, no. Trump, no. Saylor, no. SBF, no. BitConnect, no. What gender is Ethereum? That's hilarious. Kramer, no. Brad Garlinghouse, no. Vitalik, no. Richard Hart, no. Garlinghouse, no. Kwando, no. That's it. The first Jed McCaleb I seen is Bird. The Bird is the word. Dylan, Bird cashes out another 50,000 sats. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, Bird dinner. Impressive, Bird. Impressive. All right, guys. That is trivia. That was fun. Somehow I got to make that better. I think I need like a producer for this show that kind of helps me out in real time. So it'd be cool to like share screen, help out with the trivia. Not that this isn't fun, but I'm always looking to get better. You know what I mean? Always looking to get better. So wonder if I can think about how I can do that. Yeah, I love you guys too. I'm glad that this is fun. This is just try and make the show fun, try and make it unique. I'm here to have fun. That's the thing. Again, I'm not selling you guys ads. Like no one's paying me to do this. I'm doing it because I want to do it. So I think the show is fun because I'm here to have fun. If I'm not having fun with this, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm glad you guys like it too. We're just hanging out. I listen to every single Bitcoin podcast, and one of the reasons I started my own is I felt like there was, a space to be authentic, genuine, unique, and fun, just random and fun. So that's what I try and be here. All right, let's do some Q&A. How about it? While I pull up the Q&A, I totally forgot to tell you guys, if you don't mind subscribing and liking the episode, I now fully get it. More likes helps the shows propagate on all the platforms. So if you can like it on Spotify, if you can like it on YouTube, if you can like it on Apple Podcasts, that would help me out. And subscribers, my goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers before the year is over. I don't know if that's super ambitious and unrealistic, but fuck it. You guys already know how ambitious I am, per my rants earlier. So if you guys, while I pull up the Q&A, if you can like and subscribe, that's how you support me here. And it's not even monetary support. I don't run ads on the YouTube videos or anything. It's just like helping me reach my personal goals. But I think it'd be cool. I want to hit 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And if you like the episode, it helps propagate it. So if you wouldn't mind, give me a like, give me a subscribe. This is a fun personal challenge for me. This is not my business, which is interesting. I spend all my time running my companies, and This is just a fun little goal for me. See how many subscribers I can get. Okay, Q&A. Thank you, by the way, for everyone doing that. I really appreciate it. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Let's see. We've got questions on macro, industry, strike, and personal. Great. I love that. Where do we find the show? Okay. Ask your questions. The team is in there. They'll add them to the doc. We'll do Q&A and then we'll wrap up. Question 1. In an episode a while back, you said the only way to get rid of our national debt is to inflate it. Can you explain more why inflating the debt helps it go away? Yes. When you can devalue the thing you owe, one way to pay it back is make the thing you have to pay back worthless. Does that make sense? Let's say this is an example I gave on a media segment a long time ago. So it's not a perfect example, but I'll reuse it for the sake of the meme. Let's say I owed somebody 20,000 Taylor Swift tickets, which at the time it was a funny joke because the meme was Taylor Swift tickets were selling for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a pop. Okay. So if I owed someone 20,000 Taylor Swift tickets, one way to make it affordable for me to pay those back is if I got a hold of Taylor Swift and asked her to devalue the tickets and say, hey, do you mind hosting a concert where the tickets are all a penny? Because then I can buy 20,000 tickets and pay back my debt. If they're all worth $20,000, I'm in trouble. That's a really expensive debt to owe. But if I'm able to devalue the tickets, then I can all of a sudden afford to pay the debt. And that is the high level concept, is that if the US government owes dollars, by printing dollars and devaluing the dollars, they make it more affordable to pay it back. So that's the short answer. There's a long answer, but hopefully that makes sense and resonates, is they're able to devalue what they owe, which is a cheat code. Usually in life, by the way, when you're in debt, you can do two things. You can pay it back like an honest person, or you can default on it and say, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to make you whole on this debt. And maybe you get punched in the face for that. Maybe you go to jail for that. I don't know. Maybe your house gets confiscated for that. Depends on the context. But central banks and governments have a third option. They don't have to necessarily pay it back. They don't have to default. They can print and devalue what they owe. Cheat code. Okay. Are you familiar with Jeff Booth's take on deflation? What are your thoughts on a world where prices go down in BTC? I am familiar with Jeff Booth's take on deflation. I love Jeff. He's a friend. And I think he's very smart. My take, I couldn't agree more. Listen, I've always said being long Bitcoin is being long humanity. Because when owning Bitcoin, you get to benefit from all the innovation humans are delivering. Humans are constantly building things and making the world more efficient and more accessible. Technology is getting more accessible. Education is getting more accessible. Food is getting more accessible. Information is getting more accessible. Transportation is getting more accessible. The thesis is if everyone around you is contributing and building value and innovating and bringing more efficiencies, things naturally should get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And when you own Bitcoin, that is absolutely the case. When I got into Bitcoin, my dream home was like 100,000 Bitcoin. And then it became 10,000 Bitcoin. And then it became 1,000 Bitcoin. And then it became 100 Bitcoin. And now the dream home in America is maybe 5 to 10 Bitcoin paid in cash. Depends on what you're into. So things get cheaper. You save in Bitcoin, your life gets cheaper. You're benefiting from humanity getting better. Now, if you save in fiat, your life gets more expensive, right? When I got into Bitcoin, the dream house for me was maybe, $1 million. And then the dream house gets inflated and inflated. It's $3 million, $5 million, right? And what's crazy is central banks and governments are printing more money than humans are innovating. That's like the mind-blowing thing, is if you're living with inflation, that means your government is creating more monetary units than humans are building innovation. And we're living in a world where people are creating like ChatGPT and self-driving cars and all this crazy shit. Like when you're on a Bitcoin standard, life gets about half off a year on average. Bitcoin like almost doubles every year over the last 10 years on average. So your life is getting about half off every single year. That's just how amazing society is building efficiencies in technology and making things accessible to people. And that's how hard the money is. Fiat is bleeding like 7 to 15% a year. Depends on what fiat currency you have to use. Crazy. So it doesn't matter how many self-driving cars, how much cool technology, how many AIs, doesn't matter. They're printing more money than that, which is nuts. And that's, one take on what Jeff tries to communicate. Well, I try. He does a really good job. He wrote a book on it. Does the price of gold plummet or skyrocket if no gold is found in Fort Knox? What will Bitcoin do in this case? Probably skyrockets. I mean, you're taking supply out of the market. So the US can't sell if they don't have any gold. Who's then going to sell? China's going to realize the US doesn't actually have its gold and they're going to sell to the US? Probably not. I would expect the price to go up. It'd be like, what if Michael Saylor doesn't actually have his Bitcoin? Is the price going to go up or down? Well, he can't sell. And what? I'm then going to sell to Saylor? No. So I would expect it to be a supply reduction. I would expect the price to trade up. And I think hard assets are generally in demand. So even if it did dip for a little bit, I don't think that dip would last very long. What if Bitcoin is just bought over the counter and the price stabilizes? Is that possible? And how would we price things in Bitcoin to be used as a medium of exchange? It doesn't matter how Bitcoin is purchased, you guys. At the end of the day, Bitcoin's very simple because it has a fixed supply. It is purely supply-demand dynamics. Do more people want to buy it than people that need to sell it? That's it. Doesn't matter if they do it up, down, left, right, OTC exchange, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It is how much demand is there versus how much supply is there. That's it. If it's through the OTC market, so be it. The point is, eventually, the only way to get more Bitcoins is to go higher in price. For example, I have supply, but you can't get it unless maybe you want to buy my Bitcoins for like $5 million per coin. I might sell you one. You want more supply, you got to go higher price. And that's typically what happens with Bitcoin. So it doesn't matter whether it's through the OTC or not. And how would we price things in Bitcoin to be used as a medium of exchange? It's pretty simple. Like I know people that, teach coding and they've been charging 0.1 Bitcoin for years. And the fiat value of that has gone up. Maybe they've changed their prices, but pricing things as Bitcoin is very simple. Put a price tag on it, denominate it in Bitcoin. Now, I don't know how valuable that would be and how big of a market you'd be appealing towards because Bitcoin is volatile and generally appreciates. And so anything you're pricing in Bitcoin is going to get a lot more expensive with time. Maybe that works for you. Maybe it doesn't, but all right, industry questions. What other applications outside of money do you see the Bitcoin network going into? Bitcoin is money. That's a $400 to $500 trillion idea. And so you start there. I also think Bitcoin's going to disrupt value transfer. So I've described the internet as a communications protocol. It's a protocol for the world to communicate with one another. And on top of that, you could build social medias, you could build games, you could build emergency communication, you could build GPS, you could build a lot of stuff if you have a protocol, a public utility to communicate. the way I would describe Bitcoin and things like the Lightning Network is a value transfer protocol. So it's the same concept. It's a set of rules for planet Earth to do a thing. The internet is to communicate. Bitcoin, the Lightning, is to transfer value. And so I think a value transfer protocol is going to disrupt lots of things. The equivalent to how the internet disrupted newspapers. I think businesses like Western Union are going to have a tough time existing in their current form for decades to come. So I think value transfer, Bitcoin is bound to disrupt and accrue value into the network from its ability to disintermediate that space. I would say that comes top of mind for me. But I'm not big on NFTs or any of that trash. Is there any scenario in your mind that Bitcoin will be gone? Listen, the world is uncertain. That's a fact. Nobody knows what tomorrow will bring us. There are things we can be reasonably confident in, like the sun will come up, but we cannot be 100% certain in anything, period. Doesn't matter. So can I say 100% Bitcoin's going to survive? No. For that very reason. Like, I love the line, you know how risky life is? None of us are making it out alive. Risk is inherent. Risk is natural. That's part of the way the world works. It's the arrow of time. The past we cannot change. The future we don't know. But given that base fact of life, Bitcoin is as certain as there is anything we have access to. It uses math, it uses cryptography, it uses distributed networks to give us a digital certainty. So I'm as confident in Bitcoin working as I am in anything else, but I can never be 100% certain. So no, I don't see a world in which Bitcoin dies. I don't think that's a practical world. I don't expect that world. I cannot sit here and guarantee you anything, but I think Bitcoin is as certain a thing as we have access to in today's world. I'll update you guys if that ever changes. What do you think about STX as a Bitcoin layer 2 that offers staking rewards in Bitcoin? No idea, never really heard of it. Sounds like a shitcoin. Could you tell us why other Bitcoin Jack is not Satoshi? Oh, why Dorsey is not Satoshi? I know why, but I'd like to know your thoughts on the Dorsey Satoshi FUD. I didn't even know there was Dorsey Satoshi FUD. Listen, it doesn't matter who Satoshi is. And Satoshi, one of the only things they asked is to be left alone. So I think there's a lot of reasons Jack Dorsey is not Satoshi, but it doesn't matter. And I'm not interested in knowing who Satoshi is. And so I don't care, and I don't have anything meaningful to add to this conversation. I didn't even know there was Dorsey Satoshi FUD, though. That's pretty funny. But I don't know. I don't care. Satoshi wanted to be left alone. I'm leaving him alone. What do you think will happen to MSTR's share price? Market cap will increase, but share price will hardly stay the same if dilution continues. Good for Bitcoin, bad for MSTR investors, right? I disagree with that. The whole notion of MSTR is to produce more Bitcoin per share. If you own MSTR, the assumption is you're interested in Bitcoin. So if Saylor's giving you more Bitcoin per share, meaning he's buying more Bitcoin for the balance sheet than he's diluting shareholders, then he expects his shareholders to be happy. And if that is the case, it's what's known as accretive, not dilutive. So it's actually good for shareholders, especially if Bitcoin remains flat or goes up. So I disagree with that. MicroStrategy has been positive in what Saylor calls BTC yield, which means he's been able to buy more Bitcoin than dilute his shareholders, which means the Bitcoin per share, what each share represents as Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's balance sheet, that has gone up. And Saylor's assumption as a MicroStrategy shareholder is that when you own a share of MicroStrategy, you own it because you're interested in Bitcoin. And that's why he cares about that metric. If you're not interested in Bitcoin, you shouldn't be owning MicroStrategy, right? Pretty obvious. All right, strike questions. Bill pay. How do you address cap gains taxes when using Strike for bill pay to your credit card? I don't know what you mean by address, but listen, I've said before, paying capital gains taxes is a good problem to have because that means you made money, okay? If I bought Bitcoin at $100 and I paid off my credit card bill when my Bitcoin's now worth $200, that's correct. I have a capital gain of $100, but that means I made money. That means I avoided fiat debasement. That means Bitcoin went up against the dollar. The only thing worse than owing a capital gain is not having made any money at all and being sitting in the fiat currency that's being debased. So I never understood why people fear capital gains. Yes, you have to pay taxes, but I'd rather make a profit, make money, avoid currency debasement, be in Bitcoin, and whenever I have to spend the Bitcoin, I have to give the government some percentage of it. Then what's the other option? Sitting in dollars? Yeah, no thanks. So how do I deal with it? I pay my taxes. But the ultimate solution that I'm excited about is being able to borrow against my Bitcoin, a loan against my Bitcoin. And then in that way, I could borrow money to live my operational life against my Bitcoin. And then I don't have to sell the Bitcoin and I don't have to pay any taxes because I'm never incurring a taxable event. That is the goal. Soon come. Lending question. Here we go. How do you reconcile your loan product with these two Bitcoin maxi proverbs? Not your keys, not your coins, and don't trust a man, trust his incentives. Listen, guys, I think the world will continue to have businesses that provide services. I don't think Bitcoin disrupts the idea that there will be institutions and companies in the world. My company is going to offer services. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. The problem with something like the dollar is you can't really opt out. They're stealing your time, energy, your effort, your labor without your consent. No one's forcing you to use Strike. If you want to get a loan against your Bitcoin and you want to be a customer of mine, then we'd love to have you. If not, though, then don't. So I think things like not your keys, not your coins, there will not be a way for you to credibly get a large loan without giving someone your collateral. Uncollateralized lending is the way everyone gets wrecked. The whole point is you post collateral and someone can then safely give you a line of credit. So I think it's pretty simple. Products and services aren't for everyone. Certain companies aren't for everyone. People should do as they please. No one's forcing you to do anything. We've gotten a lot of demand for this product for a reputable, licensed, regulated business in the United States and globally to offer Bitcoin collateralized lending. And so we're going to build the best product we possibly can, and we're going to see how it does. But I would say there's no world in which you're going to be able to get a sizable loan while also holding your keys. As far as my incentives go, I don't understand what you mean by that. Like if anything happens, I go to jail and lose everything I've built in my life. So I guess my incentives are good. I don't know where you think my incentives are. If I do anything stupid and criminal, then I lose everything in my life, including my freedom. So as far as incentives, I'm not incentivized to do anything. But I would say use products if you find value in them. And if you don't, then don't use them. Feature request. Can Strike implement a cost basis to the app? Yes, working on that. Can you comment on joint Strike accounts? Is this something you're planning for? Yes, we are. Do you see Strike partnering with banks like Ally Bank to offer Bitcoin purchases? I don't know. I think banks move slower than we think. If that's ever anything Ally Bank is interested in, we can absolutely be a partner to that. But I think they move pretty slow. And one of the things that's been great about Strike is we control our infrastructure, we control our licenses, we control everything vertically. So we're able to move really, really fast and build great products pretty efficiently. So, we'll see over time what banks' opinions on Bitcoin are, but my expectation is these things move slow. Another question, where do we find the show on Nostr? It was supposed to be on zap.stream. However, as I read that question, I remembered zap.stream got like totally wiped out. So I may need to reset it up. I think the developer of zap.stream, like there was something that went terribly wrong a few weeks ago. So I'll look into that. If it wasn't up there today, I'm sorry about that. I'll look into that, and I may just have to re-authenticate. Okay, last two. These are personal questions. That always makes me nervous. Do you invest in any stocks at all, or are you 100% Bitcoin? I am 100% Bitcoin. I am 100% Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin, my company, my house. So I guess if you count Strike, I own stocks. I obviously own equity in Strike. But I don't invest in the stock market. Bitcoin only. Bitcoin only. Can you talk about your Super Bowl experience? Yes, I can. What about my Super Bowl experience would be interesting? I think Saquon is a Bitcoiner, and he's a friend of mine. He's an investor in Strike. He's been great. He got into Bitcoin many, many years ago. He's like an OG, arguably at this point. And so I was primarily there to support him, support my friend. I mean, people have such short memories. They don't remember Saquon, multiple injuries, blew out his knee. He was the second overall pick. He was in New York, the biggest market in America, the biggest market in the NFL. People were calling him a bust. They've been really hard on him. The Giants have gone through some of the worst years in franchise history. And now he's a Super Bowl champion. And what's funny is I saw all of that behind the scenes. I've gotten to know the man that he is. I've gotten to know the investor that he is. He's such a good guy. He's such a good friend, such a good family man. He's obviously one of the most gifted physical athletes we've ever seen. He's one of the most gifted running backs in the history of the sport. And so I was just super proud of him and feel blessed, honestly, to like know the guy. Because like, what a story. I mean, there's got to be a documentary that comes out someday. I mean, what a story. And he deserves it. So it's just cool. I mean, Bitcoin wins no matter what, seemingly. It feels that way, doesn't it? And so the fact that the best running back in the NFL and a Super Bowl champion is a Bitcoiner is about the coolest thing in the world. On this podcast, actually, on the Money Matters podcast, we interviewed Saquon when he was going through his contract negotiations. We talked a lot about money, how the NFL kind of manipulates the market. The market's hardly free, if free at all. And he ended up in Philly and won the Super Bowl. So I don't know what else Super Bowl wise. Jack was there. Jack Dorsey was there. I've looked up to Jack my whole life. Immensely grateful for the friendship I have with him, and he's a mentor to me as well. I don't know how purposefully he is. You know, I think we're just friends, but you know, I learned so much from being around him, and I take advantage of those moments, and I'm always asking questions, and just, you know, watching him be him has inspired me. I know people have different opinions on Jack, which I can understand, but you know, he's been nothing but great to me. I think Jack is also probably one of the most talented consumer technology minds of our time. Like for my generation growing up, you know, this guy created Twitter, one of the dominant social medias, then went on to create Square, and then also within Square, the Cash App. I mean, you can't get lucky that many times. He's got unbelievable taste. He's one of the best entrepreneurs and product builders of our time, I think, hands down. Like Elon's been remarkably successful, but things like Starlink and, you know, SpaceX, I mean, these are not consumer products that live in the everyday lives of people. Not to say they're not valuable, but I mean, I think of Jack in the caliber of like Steve Jobs, like that level of visionary and taste and talent. So he's great, and it was a lot of fun. Bitcoin is just the best. It finds its way in everything, and it finds its way in winners. Cool. Okay. Chances the Bears make the Super Bowl next year? Low. I wouldn't bet sats on it. Okay. We're coming up on 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a blast. I love this little corner of the internet we have every Monday. I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to sell it. You don't have to sign up for some app using my referral code. You don't have to buy this protein bar. You just hang out with me. It's a blast. If you don't like it, don't come next week. But if you do, subscribe and like the show if you don't mind. I really, really appreciate it. And then keep giving me feedback. The show, believe it or not, has actually gotten consistently better over week over week over week over week. We're almost at 18,000 subscribers. And I've got episodes coming out. Like I recorded an episode with Preston Pish. That's coming out. We're actually in the middle of rebranding the show. I'm going to have a bunch more guests on. It's going to get really, really exciting. And it's all driven by your guys' feedback. You guys are really as much a part of the show as I am. So keep giving me the feedback. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I've reached a point in my career where I've heard it all on the internet. And so you're not going to hurt my feelings. Just keep giving me the feedback. We'll keep making it better. And it's exciting. This is just a really cool thing I get to share with you guys. So I really appreciate it. And with that, I'll read all the comments. I'll see you on Twitter and Noster. And then I'll be back same spot next week. Sound good? All right. Peace and love. Don't buy Memecoins. Buy Bitcoin. How do I end this thing? I forget. Oh, there it is. Peace.